Hey Diane, you there? We're getting divorced, you got that?
Is that you, Mark? What the hell are you talking about? This is kind of out of the blue, don't you think?
You heard me. I said I'm divorcing you. I can't go on living with you any longer. Stop off on your way back from work and pick up the divorce forms from City Hall, would you?
Hold on a second, Mark. Have you lost your mind? Just because you say we're getting divorced, I can't just say, okay, sure. I mean, come on, it's not like we're still in high school. And what about our daughters? Have you thought about them? They're only 5 and 6 years old, and you're just going to dump them and go about your merry way? You're a father, for God's sake. It's not as simple as just breaking it off. Don't you think you should be a little more responsible than that?
The problem are the girls, our 2 daughters.
Excuse me, what are you talking about? Is this about what I think it's about? That we're able to have girls, but I can't give birth to boys? Is that what you're saying again?
That's exactly what I'm saying. I didn't even have to bring it up, which means you have a problem with it too.
I don't have a problem with my daughters one bit, but you keep bringing it up so often that it's always on my mind, and when this divorce talk came up, that was the first thing that came to my mind. I hope you're not thinking that I did it on purpose and gave birth to 2 girls. If you are, you've totally lost it, Mark.
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, how could you control it? But your family, you got 3 brothers, but then you only give birth to girls? It kinda gets frustrating. So sometimes I do think that maybe you might be using some sort of method to have girls, like eating certain foods, or maybe there's a drug, I don't know. I start to get a little suspicious is all.
Don't you remember that I explained it all to you a bunch of times? The father's sperm determines whether a baby will be born as a boy or a girl. I showed you that scientific journal online. Don't you remember?
Yeah, but you're the one that's giving birth. It has to be your fault.
Oh boy, this is getting nowhere.
Anyways, whatever you say, we need to get divorced no matter what. There's just no turning back.
Why are you so determined to get divorced? I can't understand this urgency.
I have to get a divorce because my girlfriend just gave birth to a baby boy, that's why.
Wait, back up a bit, would you? Your girlfriend?
Yeah, that's right. We run a small family business. We need a male heir to take over the business someday. Our daughters just won't do. I met this girl and she gave me a boy. So the logical thing to do is to take her as my wife. I tried with this woman several times and it finally happened. After my 3rd try, I was finally able to bring a boy into this world. It's a miracle!
You're making this infidelity sound like it's normal. You were cheating on me, for crying out loud. Have you no shame?
I don't care what you do. You can have custody of the 2 girls. Just hurry up and give me that damn divorce. As for child support and whatever compensation I have to pay, I'll pay it. I don't want to have to deal with you kicking up a fuss about it later on. With that said, you still got complaints?
It's pointless talking with you. You seem to have your mind set on this.
Yeah, you sure got that right.
All right, have it your way. I'll give you that divorce. But you're not getting away with just paying. I will have my lawyer handle everything just in case, if you don't mind.
I said I would pay for their education and compensation to you. Isn't that enough? Let's just get it over with.
Didn't you hear me? I said just in case. If I don't let my lawyer handle it, you may just take off without paying. I mean, how can I trust someone who cheated on me, right? Do you really think I would simply take your word for it? Anyway, I want everything in writing. I want to leave a clear record of everything that transpired.
What are you trying to say, that I'm at fault here?
If you don't agree to it, forget about getting divorced. Oh, and as for the house and all our joint assets, that will be divided up equally. My lawyer will work that out. I suggest you get a lawyer too, Mark. A lot of paperwork. You don't want to get screwed later on.
Huh? You want me to hire a lawyer?
Yeah, I would recommend that you do. Now that we've decided, I'm packing my things and taking the kids to my parents' place tonight.
Oh, I get it. You knew this was coming. All you wanted all along was money. You didn't love me at all. It was all just the greenbacks. You know what, Diane? I'm actually glad I was able to see you for what you really are. A selfish, money-hungry she-devil. You know why divorces are expensive? Because they're worth it. Hey, Diane, what's up? It's been a while.
Is that you, Mark? Yeah, must be at least 7 years. What do you want?
I saw you at the General Hospital this afternoon at the maternity ward. I was just wondering what you were doing there is all.
Oh, yeah. I did see someone that looked like you sitting next door. You were seeing the optometrist, right? Getting bad eyesight in your old age or something? So, how have you been? Are you concerned about your daughters? Is that why you're contacting me after all these years?
Huh? Why would I be concerned about the girls? You got that handled, right?
Have you already forgotten? We agreed to keep this line open, so if you had any concerns about our daughters, you could contact me here. This is the first time, so I figured you wanted to know how the kids were doing.
No, nothing like that. I have no interest whatsoever in the girls. They probably don't even remember me.
Then what the hell do you want? I'm in no mood to hear your brainless nonsense.
Well, when I saw you there, your tummy looked pretty big, and you were in the maternity ward, which can only mean that you're pregnant, am I right?
I really have no obligation to tell you, but yeah, that's right. I'm pregnant. 8 months. I remarried about 3 years ago. You probably know that through our lawyers.
Yeah, he sent me a message about it. But what's with this husband of yours?
Keep my husband out of this, would you? You have no right criticizing my husband. He is the best thing that's ever happened to me. He accepted my daughters as if they were his own. He's a wonderful and considerate person, unlike some people I know.
Yeah, well, that's fine and dandy, but I'm just surprised that he would marry someone that can't give birth to a boy. And another thing, my lawyer told me that he's the oldest in the family. And like my folks, they run a business too. Is he gonna have one of your daughters take over the business one day? Good luck with that. So you're already 8 months in, huh? Knowing you, I bet you're expecting another girl. What the hell are you gonna do with 3 girls? Just another useless mouse to feed. I can't believe you, Diane. You're doomed to only have girls. I guess it's in the cards, huh? Seems a foregone conclusion that you're gonna end up alone with 3 girls. I bet you've got it all worked out with your lawyer, I suppose.
Again, I have no obligation to tell you this, but just so you're aware, my husband's older sister is set to take over the family business.
Excuse me, his older sister? Are you serious? Now, why would they have a woman take over the business? Are they nuts?
That's simply because his sister is way more competent in business. She grew up helping her folks run the place. It was the logical choice, that's all.
But she's a woman! Seems like a very risky move.
They're not like your family, Mark. They're not as narrow-minded. They are more concerned about competence, not gender. Anyway, my husband runs his own business. He's too busy with his own problems. He doesn't meddle in the family business.
Yeah, to each his own, I suppose, but the fact of the matter is, she's a woman. The future looks bleak in my opinion.
My other son just turned 2 last week.
Huh, wait, what?
Yeah. About a year after we got married, we had a beautiful baby boy. Just turned 2, like I said. Cutest kid in the entire world.
No way, you have a 2-year-old boy? How did you give birth to a boy? I thought you were a girl-only type.
Please, Mark, stop with that nonsense, would you? If you don't mind, let's cut this short. This is getting tedious. Please, no more random texts. Only for emergencies. Please. Goodbye, Mark.
Diane, answer me right this minute. I'm not kidding around. I want you to hand over one of the girls. She's my daughter.
Pardon me, are you out of your mind? You don't care which, the older one or the younger? It really doesn't matter?
I'll stop by tomorrow to pick her up. Everything's ready by 9 a.m., you got that? Decide which one you plan to hand over. Like I said, either will do.
Have you totally gone insane, Mark? Why the hell would I give you one of my children?
Huh, why not?
Are you seriously asking me why? She's not some toy you can borrow, for God's sake. You were the one that said you didn't want the girls because your new woman gave birth to a boy, right? What was that all about? In the past 7 years, you never even came to visit them. And now you want one of them? You've really gone off the deep end, Mark. I'm not going to comply to such an unreasonable demand. These are my daughters you're talking about. You lay a hand on them, you better be ready for the consequences.
Are you telling me you can't help me out of a dire situation? We used to be married, Diane. The least you could do is help out your ex.
Dire situation? What the hell are you talking about, Mark?
It's about my son. He was not my son after all.
Excuse me? Not your son? I don't get it.
I caught my wife having an affair, so just in case, I had a DNA test done on my son, and it turns out that he wasn't my son after all. For 7 years, I treated him like my own flesh and blood. The father's a guy she met 8 years ago before we married. He fathered this kid. He's not my real son.
Oh, really? How nice. So what's this got to do with me and my daughters?
Well, after we got divorced 7 years ago, I got really sick. Caused some weird virus, and as a result, I wasn't able to have kids. So I talked with my folks on what to do going forward, and what we decided on was that you give up one of your daughters and, after a while, have her marry an appropriate guy. They will eventually have a boy, and he'll someday take over the business. So I need you to agree on this. If I don't have an heir, I may not be able to continue running the family business.
You are out of your mind, Mark. I can't believe what I just heard. What total rubbish.
What'd you say?
I said it's total rubbish. I almost wanted to smack this phone against the wall.
You have no right to talk to me that way, Diane.
I told you when I remarried, but let me refresh your memory because you've clearly forgotten. I told you that my husband has officially adopted my daughters. They are no longer your kids. You gave up that right a long time ago.
What? He adopted them? That means...
That's right. Even if you're biologically related, legally, you're not their father. There is nothing you can do to force them to live with you, Mark. They are not your children anymore. You never wanted them anyway, and it's a little too late for all this.
Hold on a second, I'm not finished. Then terminate the whole adoption BS and give me back one of my daughters. You got kids and another on the way? You won't miss it if I take one. What's the big deal?
Are you smoking something?
Hey, tell you what, I'll take both of them off your hands, and then you can concentrate on bringing up your 2 new kids. What do you say? Come to think of it, if I have both of them, one can be used for a plan B if need be.
I think I'm going to have you officially institutionalized. You have totally lost it, Mark.
Pretty good idea, if I say so myself.
You know what, Mark? If there is anybody in this world that should never have kids, that's you. What do you think your children are? Baseball cards to be traded? Holy crap. You need to see a shrink, mister.
What are you babbling about?
I'm saying I will never, and I mean never, hand my daughters over to you. I would die before I ever do that.
Okie dokie. All the preparations are set to get back together with you, Diane.
Oh, please, not again. What is it this time, Mark? You're not getting the kids.
I know you don't want to hand over the kids. I'll come to you. Or shall I say, you come to me. We get married again, and then we're all good to go, right?
Wrong.
Oh, you're worried about the wife and my former so-called son. I already kicked them out, so no worries. Move in anytime you like. From today forward, you will become my wife again. You have a bright future ahead of us, Diane.
You can't be serious. Can you hold on a second? I'm gonna call the mental hospital.
Stop joking around, I'm serious. Oh, and when you come here, only bring the girls. You can leave the other kid with your ex-husband. Let me be perfectly clear, Diane. I have no intention of adopting that new kid of yours. If you cannot accept these terms, I'm sorry, Diane, but I will not be able to reconcile with you. Sorry, but you won't be my wife again. But whichever is the case, I'm still gonna go pick up one of my daughters, or maybe even both. You understand me?
Hey, a thought just crossed my mind. Do you even know where I live?
What? You think I'm a total moron? At your parents' place, of course. Think about it for a second, Diane. You're at the local maternity ward at the local hospital. Your parents' place is 30 minutes away. Where else would you be? Use your common sense.
I was back home just to give birth near my folks. We don't live there. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, so what?
Let me ask you this, Mark. When was it that you saw me at the maternity ward? I told you I was 8 months pregnant then, so how many months have passed since then?
I guess that was a little over 3 months ago.
That means I don't live with my folks and live in a completely different place. I already gave birth to a beautiful child, and I'm back at my husband's place.
Wait, stop right there. You don't live with your folks?
That's right. So don't go barging over to my parents' place and demand that they hand over the girls because neither I nor my kids are there. And for your information, I have no intention of remarrying you.
All right, so you moved. So what? Hurry up and give me the new address. I'll drive over to pick you guys up. Come on, stop giving me the runaround, Diane.
Excuse me? I feel like I'm talking to a brick wall.
I just finished getting my folks on board with this. They finally agreed to me remarrying you. So come on, stop trying to duck the issue. I know you secretly want to. So come, address please.
Mark, I'm gonna say this one last time. I have zero intention of getting back together with you.
Right, so just give me the damn address, would ya? This delaying tactic is really getting on my nerves, Diane.
Delaying tactic? Boy, you are delusional. I'm not going to remarry you, Mark.
Diane, read the line carefully before you reply, would ya? I'm saying I'll take you and your daughters back, can't you understand? I'm doing you a huge favor. I'm going out on a limb for you guys. Why get so upset? I thought you'd be jumping with joy.
Why would I be jumping for joy, for God's sake?
Huh?
My 2 daughters and my 2 sons I had with my current husband are all my children, and I love them dearly. I will never give them up for anything in the world. You understand me, you creep?
What? The kid you just had was a boy. You now have 2 boys? Are you serious?
Stop changing the subject. Like I said a million times, I have no intention of remarrying you, Mark. The thought alone makes me nauseous.
Nauseous? Are you kidding me?
And one more thing. I don't plan on divorcing my husband anytime soon. I love him. Why would I divorce the man I love? All I'm interested in is my family. I want them to be happy. That's all that matters to me. I don't want a creep like you ruining this family, so please, just get lost.
Come on, Diane, relax. I need you and the girls. Please, help me out here. If I don't do something about it now, my cousin will end up taking over the business. I just can't have that.
Oh yeah? Really? You know what? That sounds like a much better option.
Pardon me?
Your cousin, huh? That could only mean your cousin that lives back east, right? He would make a pretty good boss. Your grandfather would probably be happy with him running things.
Are you suggesting that he would be better than me?
Yeah, I guess I am. Anyway, you don't need my daughters. Your cousin would be more than adequate to take over. What's all the fuss? You make it sound like it's the end of the world.
Well, that means I won't be able to keep my current status as...
I really think the right person should take over. Whoever is more competent. I think it would be better for business. And your cousin seems to fit the bill perfectly.
You make it sound like I can't do my job.
Can you really do the job, though? Didn't seem like it even back then.
What did you just say?
Okay, I guess that's it then. All problems solved.
No, the problem is not solved.
I really don't want to have to deal with your nonsense again, so please contact my lawyer for any further issues. As soon as I get a reply from my lawyer, I'm going to be blocking this line. Have to do everything legally, you know.
No, come on, Diane. Don't you dare cut me off.
This will be the last and final message. Goodbye, Mark. A few days later, I was finally able to block my line. Now my ex won't be able to contact me any longer. I suppose that pissed him off royally, and he immediately called my parents, screaming and shouting about God knows what. He threatened to talk to my daughters and reveal that my new husband is not their father. But I had already sat my daughters down even before we were married and told them that their new father was not their biological father. And they were fine with that. As a matter of fact, they were overjoyed when he announced that he would adopt them. Truth be told, my daughters love their new father. My mom explained that there are no secrets in our family. That's why we're a happy and content family. It seems everything Mark tries fizzles out. His frustration level is probably out of this world. I immediately contacted my lawyer and made sure there was no more correspondence from him. He no longer has any connection to this family, and I want to keep it that way. I heard that because of his mismanagement of the family business, he was eventually removed from his position and replaced by his more sensible cousin. He wasn't able to stay long at his parents' business working as one of the staff. His pride and conceit just wouldn't allow it, as you can probably imagine. Last I heard, he took some part-time job out of town and lives in some low-rent apartment trying to make ends meet.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hello, Robert. Is it true that you've been assigned to another department? That's what I just heard from administration.
Oh, good evening, Mr. Barnes. Still at work? Being a section manager seems like a pretty hard job, so staying late, I mean.
No use trying to curry favor with me, Robert. Besides, I'm off today. So what about it? Are you getting transferred or what? What's up? Is it true?
Well, it was all explained in that internal memo at work today.
Like I said, I haven't been in today. Someone from administration sent me a text mentioning it.
Oh, yeah, right. I thought you were there. Sorry.
So, are you gonna answer me? Are you getting transferred or not?
Yes, sir. I'm getting transferred next month to my new position. I really appreciate your help all these years, but I'll be leaving this branch office by the end of the month. It's really been a great experience.
I see. So not a different department, but you're leaving this office altogether, huh? Seems kinda strange that you'd be transferring right about now.
Yes, I know. I heard that they decided on my transfer unexpectedly. I guess they needed to fill that position as soon as possible.
Oh, I see. So that's what it was all about. Now I get it. Yeah, figures. I'm not sure what you did to make this sudden decision, but you know what? I was kinda half expecting it. I mean, you've always been presumptuous. Always a little disrespectful to your superiors.
I'm not sure what you mean, Mr. Barnes. Why did you expect I would be transferred? I don't think I was ever out of line in any way. Was I really that disrespectful, sir?
What I mean is, you probably did something sneaky and got caught. They couldn't fire you, and the only option was to redispose, so to speak.
Pardon me?
What the hell did you do, Robert? Screw up one of the projects? Or is it more non-business related, like in an office romance or something? So, where you getting relocated to? Some factory office out west? That place way out in Nowhereville? Or maybe a one-person box office out in the company parking lot?
Mr. Barnes, if you had read the memo, maybe you wouldn't be saying that, but it's not that I'm being relocated.
Oh, I see. You don't even realize the predicament you're in. I get it. Too shocked to comprehend it, huh? It happens. Just can't accept it, can you? Well, you dug your own hole. The company had no choice but to transfer you. It's probably your shameless attitude toward what you did that irked them. I suggest you accept the consequences, Robert. You should be grateful they let you keep your job.
Right. It's just that...
So where'd you get relocated to? Come on, Robert, stop beating around the bush for God's sake!
If you would just take a look at the company memo that was distributed today, you'll get all the information you need, sir.
That means I have to wait until tomorrow morning to get the good news. I won't be able to sleep. Let's hear it, Robert. Where's this wonderful place you're being transferred to? It's like I'm waiting for the axe to fall. Besides, I'd rather hear it from the horse's mouth than reading some boring memo. So out with it, man. If it's that factory office out west, you better get a pretty warm jacket. It gets pretty chilly out there.
Not out west, but east. The headquarters in New York.
Wait a sec. What? Hey, Robert. You there?
Yes, sir. Good morning, Mr. Barnes. What can I do for you?
What you said yesterday about your transfer, that was no joke, was it? I just read the company memo, and it's not only you. Melinda's being transferred too! She should be here, near me! Is this all really true?
Right. Yes. It's all there in the memo. All true, sir. There was this company competition last year. You remember that, right? Well, the project idea that Melinda and I submitted was selected.
Yeah, that. When they put that into actual use, it immediately racked up like $1 million in sales. That project idea, huh? So the company's rewarding you by transferring you guys to headquarters, is that it?
Oh, okay. So you read the whole thing. So I don't have to explain everything.
I couldn't believe it. So I asked my uncle who works at headquarters. I had to verify if it was true.
Oh, really? Your uncle works at headquarters? I never knew that, sir.
He was the one that got me into this company. He's got some connections and put in a good word for me. He's the section manager at HR over there.
Oh, really? I had no idea. That's great.
You had no idea? You should know about the people you work with, especially your boss.
Sorry, sir. I'm the type that sort of overlooks that kind of thing. If it doesn't affect my work, it just doesn't interest me.
Huh? Oh, I see. That's why you were so hyped about trying to outshine me, is that it?
Not really. All I was doing my job as best I could, that's all. I was not out to get the better of anybody.
About this transfer to headquarters. How about I go instead of you? What do you say?
Pardon me. You want to go to HQ instead of me?
Yeah, that's right. Along with Melinda, of course. The two of us would make the perfect pair for the main office. I asked my uncle to pull some strings to get me transferred to headquarters, but you know what he said? He said if I had real success that I could show, he could talk to some people and act on that. So what I'm trying to say is that you give me the credit for that project idea. That one that garnered in excess of $1 million in sales. Just say it was all your boss's idea. That I was the brains behind it.
Mr. Barnes, listen, I really can't do that.
Seriously? Are you telling me you're giving your boss the middle finger, is that it?
I don't have the power to overturn a request from higher up.
Robert, I want you to come up to the 3rd floor. Let's have a little talk in the meeting room, privately. The branch manager will be there too, so let's us 3 sit down and have a little conversation, shall we?
Okay, I'll be right up.
Man, what a total wimp! All I did was press you on the issue. You got all flustered and nervous. And before I knew it, you back up toward the window all scared like, and fall out! This was on the 3rd floor for God's sake! You're a total klutz, you know that? Just so you know, I had nothing to do with it. It's not as if I pushed you or anything. I just confronted you on some business issues and you got all agitated for no reason. Don't make any false accusations. Gotta say, it was the 3rd floor. I'm sure you're not okay. How could you be, right? But you know what, Robert? As your boss, I'm gonna go out on a limb for you. I'll assume all responsibility of your business dealings. That's the least I can do. So relax and get some rest. I really have to thank you for providing me an opportune chance to further my career. At a cost, of course. That $1 million deal is now mine! I was the one who came up with that idea. You got that? There will be consequences if you report on this, that I had anything to do with it. You slipped and fell out of that window, you understand? Another thing you shouldn't forget, my uncle is the section chief at HR. He's got my back 100%. Just so you're aware, as long as you don't rock the boat, everything will remain normal. Your future with this company depends on whether you keep your mouth shut or not. Do we understand each other? That's all I have to say. Have a nice long rest, and I look forward to seeing you back at work in a few weeks. Or maybe months. Oh yeah, about Melinda. Don't worry about her. She's all taken care of, if you know what I mean. Robert, you know what? You're a total loser.
Robert, are you okay? I heard all about it. What the hell happened?
Oh, hey, Melinda. Thanks for earlier. Yeah, I'm doing okay. My new suit got hooked up on a branch and got all torn up. That was my favorite suit!
I'm so glad to hear you're okay. It could have been way worse.
Well, that was because of your quick thinking. Maybe I wouldn't even be talking to you right now.
Please, don't say that, Robert.
When Mr. Barnes confronted me in the meeting room, he backed me toward the window and I had nowhere else to go. But then I looked down and saw you and your folks standing down there with a mattress ready to take my fall.
I'm just glad we were able to get there in time.
I later remembered that your folks owned a furniture shop just around the block, right?
Yeah, that's right. That was why we were able to get there in time with the mattress. The staff was just unloading a new shipment into the warehouse. I was walking down the hall and overheard Mr. Barnes' staff members talking about how he was going to somehow hamper your transfer to headquarters. But then I learned that you had already gone up to the 3rd floor to have a meeting with Mr. Barnes. All I could think of spur of the moment was to go straight to my parents' place down the street.
Thanks for that, Melinda. Always so astute. That's what I like about you. Oh yeah, about that mattress. Got a bit dirty after catching my fall. That was new, wasn't it? Can't sell that anymore. Tell you what, I'll buy it. I need a new mattress anyway. In a weird way, I have this intimate connection with it now.
You really don't have to, but if you want, sure. We'll give you a big discount on it.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot. About Mr. Barnes. He still doesn't know the whole story, right?
No, he doesn't. He was out of the office when it was announced, so I don't see how he could know. He just left a little while ago, so I covered for you. Just that you were in pain and recuperating. We were lucky he didn't see us down below. I suppose the bushes and those trees helped, although it didn't help your suit.
Yeah, well, the suit was a small price to pay. Anyway, thanks for everything, Melinda. I owe you.
You're at my parents' place now, right? I hope you're comfortable there.
Yeah, your parents are great. They're treating me like royalty.
I also talked to the branch manager. He was really concerned and asked how you were holding up. He wants to know all the details after you return to the office. He was furious that his name was used in all this.
Yeah, all right. Again, thanks for everything.
Oh, just so you know, I saw Mr. Barnes as he was leaving. He had a huge smirk on his face. I even think he was whistling.
Are you serious?
Lucky for those trees and bushes, he didn't see us with the mattress. Probably just thought the trees blocked your fall, and luckily it was out back and nobody was around, so the whole incident didn't get out of hand. He has no idea you're perfectly fine.
Yeah, well, I guess we were just lucky, huh? Mr. Barnes has always been short-sighted. His work style has always been patchy. Everything is half finished. But I suppose that trait was to our advantage.
Hey, Robert, you there? Reply right this second, buddy. How the hell can you be okay? I thought you'd be incapacitated for weeks. Melinda said you were in pain, for Christ's sake.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Barnes. I'm fine. I was in a bit of pain, but popped a couple aspirins on the way. No problem. Why didn't you stop and talk when you saw me in the hall?
You're not some kind of ghost, are you?
I'm pretty sure a ghost can't text message. That will be weird, huh? Like some horror movie.
Yeah, well, stop changing the subject, will you?
I see what you're getting at. You want to know why I'm perfectly fine. Not a scratch on me despite falling from the 3rd floor, right?
Yeah, what the hell's going on? You didn't fall. That's it, right? Somehow you saved yourself at the last minute.
Well, let's just say I had some help. Some good people helped break my fall. But what's more, guess what I did before joining this company? I was a stuntman!
A stuntman? Don't give me that!
It's true. That project I put through, the one that generated over $1 million in sales, well, my former expertise played an important role in that. But we're getting way off topic, so let's leave that for later.
What the hell are you talking about? Get to the point, for crying out loud!
You really did it this time, Mr. Barnes.
Huh? I have no idea what you're talking about, buddy. Are you accusing me of something? I haven't done anything wrong.
I will file a report regarding this incident, just so you're aware.
What? You're not even hurt. What are you even gonna report? That you were a klutz and stumbled over your own feet?
Although I wasn't injured, you definitely will be charged with assault.
Pardon me?
If I had been injured, you'd be charged with assault and battery. A pretty serious crime, I'm told. But since I wasn't injured, the consequences of your misconduct won't be as bad. You should be grateful for that at least.
Don't even think about submitting a report. You do that, and you know the payback you'll get. I warned you about this before, Robert. Don't throw your career away by doing this.
Oh, are you planning on inflicting bodily harm, sir?
I'll do what I have to if it's what you're asking. This time for good.
You're forgetting one thing, Mr. Barnes. I was a stuntman, and I'm also a black belt in karate and an MMA contender. You really want to grapple with me?
MMA? Are you serious? A kid who works for me was previously a vicious animal? Give me a break!
I have no intention of using my full strength on a non-experienced person like yourself, so don't worry. No matter what you say, Mr. Barnes, I plan on submitting this report. End of story.
You do that, and my transfer to HQ is hopeless. You do realize that, right? It's already been decided. Melinda and I are going to HQ, not you.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. About your uncle, the one who works in HR? Well, I was told that he's taking responsibility for manipulating documents and favoring applicants. A clear violation of company policy. I was told he submitted his resignation today. I'm surprised you haven't heard. You're the manager. You should know these things, Mr. Barnes.
My uncle resigned? No, that can't be right.
The branch manager apparently got in contact with headquarters and submitted a detailed report of your background and recent track record. It's apparent that you used connections to get where you are now, and your uncle manipulated documents to land you this job. The senior administration were furious.
My track record? How?
Your folks have also been informed about all this. Actually, I got a phone call from them yesterday apologizing on your behalf.
Wait, pardon me? This whole thing? My parents know about this whole thing? How could that be?
Oh, by the way, your parents were very kind and understanding. You really should be grateful that they have so much sympathy for others.
You're not telling me that.
The reason why nobody has contacted you is obvious, isn't it? They figured it would be better to have you come to the office as usual, as if nothing happened. Otherwise, you'd probably panic and take off. Knowing you, Mr. Barnes, that's exactly what you would have done, am I right?
You gotta help me out here, Robert. Please.
I'm gonna have to pass on that, sir.
But what about my transfer to headquarters with Melinda?
You lay one finger on my girl and you're a dead man. You got that, buddy?
She's with you? No way!
Can we please cut this short? I have to finish up my transfer papers by today.
What about me? What am I gonna do from now on?
Goodbye, Mr. Barnes. Good luck. After that conversation, I submitted my report and pressed charges against him for assault. Through our lawyers, we were finally able to settle the matter after Mr. Barnes admitted his guilt and agreed to pay compensation for what he did. Although he was pretty pissed off, as you can imagine, Mr. Barnes eventually resigned from the company. I was worried he might retaliate somehow, so I had my lawyer place a restraining order on him. If he at any time approaches 10 feet from me, he goes to jail. Although I can protect myself, it would put my mind at ease. I later heard from his folks that they introduced him to a live-in job somewhere up north. I heard it was a logging company of some kind. His folks paid the entire compensation fee, so he's now hard at work paying them back. And I can tell you right now, it's not a small amount. They said they are eventually planning on sending him to one of their operations overseas, so I probably won't ever see him again. I sort of feel sorry for him, but I have to say, he had it coming. As for me and Melinda, we were both transferred to headquarters and already starting on our new project together. We're both just glad all this is over and we can get on with our lives.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hello, Iris. I heard from a mutual acquaintance that you were getting married. Is that true? To think that you would get married before I did. I'm so jealous. What? Oh, is this Mara? Yep. We haven't seen each other since we graduated university, right? Long time no see. I know we weren't that close back in university, but we were kind of friends, right? Oh, yeah. Long time no see, I guess, Mara. How are you doing? Fine, I guess. Hey, you got married, right? Yep, I got married 3 years ago with a senior from university, and 1 year ago we had our first child. Why are you asking? You see, I only happened to hear about it when a mutual acquaintance of ours told me about it recently. Why didn't you call me to the wedding? That's so cold of you. Sorry, but it's not like we left you out or anything. We just didn't have a wedding ceremony in the first place. We had a photo wedding and took some pictures of us in our wedding attire. Back then, Corona was still a major thing, so we decided that it wasn't a good idea to host a large wedding ceremony and invite lots of people. I told everyone I know about the wedding through Instagram and text or stuff. Oh, is that so? Well, I didn't contact you to complain about not being invited to a wedding. I called because I was so surprised that you were able to get married to him. I never expected him to be able to do it. Huh? What do you mean you never expected him to be able to do it? Do you even know who my husband is? Yeah, kind of. I don't know. He told me he would be asking you out, but I wasn't sure whether you would actually say yes or not. He's a friend of a friend, and I only found out that you two were still together recently. Seriously, I was so surprised when I found out you married him. And why exactly are you so surprised? I don't think there's anything to be surprised about, honestly. Well, I only wanted to make sure that he was really your husband now. What do you mean by that? You'll find out soon enough. I said what I came to say, so bye. Oh, there's a chance that I'm going to contact you soon about something, but now's not the time. You'll find out soon enough. What in the world are you talking about? Are you planning on doing something strange? Nothing important. Ignore what I said. Bye. Okay. Bye, I guess.
Iris, there's something I need to tell you.
Oh, hi, Nico. What is it?
Did you hear what happened?
Yep, I heard. I just got word from the lawyer I hired to put a restraining order on him at the time.
I see. I was told about it by one of my friends from university, but to think that she would do something like this. That Mara.
Yep. I was quite surprised when I heard about it, too. I had no idea this was happening.
Tell me about it. I think this is what they call karma.
I don't know. There are a lot of things going on in my mind, but some of the things I want to say to her are just too rude to be spoken aloud, so I think I'll keep my mouth shut for now and wait a bit longer.
Yep. I think that's a good idea as well. Let's just wait for now.
Hello, Iris. Hey, who do you think I'm currently going out with, LOL? I'll give you a hint. It's someone you know very well. Huh? Is this Mara again? What in the world are you talking about? I said, guess who I'm going out with currently? I don't know. I'm not an expert on your interpersonal relationships, so I can't really guess even if you ask me to. Well, I guess what you're saying is true. Even back in university, we were in the same club, but we always hung out with different groups of people. I guess we weren't ever that close, LOL. So, who are you going out with currently? Oh, so you're going to ask me? At least try to make a guess first. Sorry, but I literally have no idea who it could be. Seriously, you're no fun. Are you sure you want me to give you the answer already? I know you said it was someone I know. I mean, I guess it's no use asking me if it wasn't, but I have no idea who this person you want me to guess so badly is. Fine, I'll tell you, LOL. The correct answer is your husband. What? My husband? To tell you the truth, we've actually been dating for 4 months now. Huh? What you're saying doesn't make any sense. You see, we used to go out back in university. But when I heard that he had married you, I couldn't just stand by because I knew he deserved a better woman than you. I knew you'd probably get mad, but I decided to steal him from you. That's not all, though. We even got pregnant. I'm currently pregnant with your husband's child. And I'm going to make him take responsibility, all right?
What do you mean you're going to make him take responsibility?
I mean that I'm going to make him divorce you and marry me instead. Isn't it obvious? We have a baby now, so it's only natural, don't you think?
Can I say something?
What is it? Are you going to deny it or something, LOL? It's no use. My baby is concrete proof that we were together.
You said that you've been going out with him for 4 months now, right? But my husband cheating on me with you at that time is physically impossible, I'm afraid.
Huh? What do you mean, physically impossible? But just last week we made love to each other several times. Oh, I get it, LOL. You don't want to break up with him, so you don't want to admit that he cheated on you, right? I mean, I get what you're feeling. I mean, he's such an amazing guy that you wouldn't want to let go of him even if he cheated once or twice, right? But you've got to understand, Iris. Now that I'm pregnant with his child, I have no choice but to make him take responsibility for this. If you don't get divorced from your husband soon, your child might get into some trouble. Not that I'm implying anything, LOL.
Huh? Are you threatening my child right now? Because I'm not going to take things like that lightly.
Calm down, Iris. I didn't mean anything like that. But it's true that he has to take responsibility for my child as the father, don't you think?
Hold on just a moment.
What is it? Are you seriously not going to give up, LOL? Your husband cheated on you, and I'm now pregnant with his baby. Deal with it.
Yeah, but what you're saying doesn't make any sense because my husband and I were abroad until just last month.
What? Why are you abroad? But that's impossible. I've been meeting your husband constantly these past few months. I'm sure of it.
You must have mistaken a different man for my husband. Because the two of us were abroad for about a year due to work. Meaning that it isn't possible for you to have started going out with him 4 months ago.
What are you talking about? I can't be mistaken about your husband.
That reminds me. You never asked me my husband's name when you first contacted me about it, right? You only called him.
Now that I think about it, I guess I never did ask you his name.
My husband's name is Nico Ricci. Is he the guy you've been going out with?
No.
We went to the same university. He was a year older and from a different department. I heard that he went out with you for a while during your first year, but he broke up with you in just a month since he found out you were cheating on him.
What? That guy? Nico Ricci.
The two of us have been going out together since my second year of university and eventually got married.
Hold on! You're not making any sense. But isn't the guy that was your boyfriend and eventually became your husband Nello and not Nico?
What? Nello?
He's my ex-boyfriend, who used to go to the same department as me back in university. We broke up when we were in our second year because there were other people we wanted to go out with. After we broke up, I heard rumors that Nello started going out with you, so that's why I thought he was your husband.
Mara, what you're saying is wrong.
What? But I heard from everyone else that it was Nello.
I want you to stay calm right now. Nello wasn't my boyfriend. He was just stalking me for a while.
Huh? A stalker?
Yep. He confessed his feelings to me probably right after you two broke up. But I had literally just started going out with Nico, so I had no choice but to decline his offer. The day after that, he started stalking me, and I think he's the one who made up the rumor that he was going out with me as well. Did you know that Nello left university without graduating in his third year?
Huh? I never knew anything about that.
I placed a restraining order on him since what he was doing was just going too far, and he was also forced to leave the school.
Seriously? I did think that I no longer saw him around campus around the same time, but I never knew he was expelled. Not only that, you'll probably be shocked at what I have to say, but I'm currently at Nello's funeral. What? What happened to him? But I just met him a week ago and he was fine. A few days earlier, he was caught in a traffic accident and passed away in the hospital, apparently. I didn't go to visit his grave, but yesterday was his wake, and today is his funeral. I was told about it by a friend from university. What? What are you saying right now? Nello's dead? But he can't have passed away a few days ago because I just met him yesterday. What? Not only that, but I video chatted with him just this morning. What do you mean it's Nello's funeral? That's impossible! I think that person isn't Nello, but Nello's twin brother. What? Nello has a twin brother? This is the first time I've heard about this. Apparently, the two of them were separated at birth by their family and raised in two different households. The two of them grew up not knowing that they had a twin sibling, and were only told about it after their first year of university. What? Is this a dream or what happens next? What I'm going to tell you now is just what I think happened based on the circumstances. So you'll have to do a bit of investigation on your own if you really want to find out. What is it? Is it something serious? Apparently, Nello's twin brother was the kind of person who would pretend to be Nello, so he could trick other girls into being with him. I don't know what was so attractive about Nello in the first place, but who knows? Apparently he was. What? He would trick other girls into thinking he was Nello? So he might have tricked me as well back in university. Who knows? Maybe he did. He went to a different university as us, but it's not like he lived far away, so it's possible. Anyways, it seems he's married now. My guess is that he's pretending to be Nello so that no one would find out that he was cheating on his wife. Really? To think that I was being fooled all this time! Like I said, what I'm saying is just what I think is going on based on the circumstances. Well, I guess it's a certainty now. Since you said yourself that you met Nello yesterday, even though Nello died a few days earlier. It's the only explanation. There's no way you could have met Nello yesterday. Unless Nello's twin brother was actually the one who died, but that seems highly unlikely. I feel bad for Nello. Kind of. He did used to stalk me, but at least he wasn't evil like his brother. But there's no way! He told me that he was Nello, and I never suspected him! Don't you think I would have noticed it after all? I used to date Nello back in university! I don't know, but it's the only explanation. He must have fooled you. But... Hi, Iris. What you said yesterday was true, apparently. I contacted him after yesterday's conversation and confronted him about actually being Nello's twin brother. And he confessed. He told me he would never be seeing me again, then blocked me. What am I going to do about his baby? I see. That's unfortunate. This is all your fault! What? How is this my fault? It's your fault for not telling me you got married! If I had known he wasn't actually your husband, I would never have gotten pregnant with his child! So you're saying that you only went out with him so you could steal him from me? Because for some reason you thought he was my husband. Yes! It's all your fault, Iris! How could you blame me for your mess? I never told you to steal my husband in the first place. But it's true that if I had known this wouldn't have happened. Wait, hold on. So you heard from someone that I got married, but didn't bother to ask them who my husband was? Ugh, but I thought it was Nello. After all, you two used to go out back in university. No, we didn't go out. And even if we did, that doesn't automatically make him my husband. That stuff happened years ago. And besides, I told you that my husband was a senior from the same university, right? What? You said that? I I didn't notice. Nello was the same age as us, so there's no way it could have been him. I don't know how you just overlook something like this, but okay. You really said he was a senior? Why don't you go and check the chat history? I know you'll find it. Anyways, while it's true that this isn't all your fault, you were tricked by Nello's brother into thinking he was Nello and abandoned after you got pregnant with his baby, after all. But it's your fault too for deciding to steal my husband without even stopping to make sure who my husband actually was. Not to mention the fact that trying to steal someone's husband is a deplorable act in the first place. This is your fault, Mara. You put yourself into this mess. But even if you say that now, let me just tell it to you straight. You probably contacted me because you wanted me to help you in some way, right? But I'm sorry, I'm not going to help you. Actually, I'm not sorry. You deserve this for trying to steal another woman's husband. But I know you got the wrong guy, and it's not like anything actually happened to me. But I have no intention of helping a scumbag who boasts about stealing someone else's husband. Besides, you just thought that I was involved in your mess, but it was all your misunderstanding, so... But what am I going to do now? I barely make enough money to get by when all I have to provide for is myself. I don't have any savings either. I have the feeling Nello's wife is going to find out and make me pay an alimony as well. Well, not Nello's wife, but please, Iris, just give me some money. What made you think you could rely on me? The person you just boasted to about stealing their husband. You're delusional, Mara. Don't contact me or my family ever again. Goodbye. Iris, answer the phone! You don't need to give me money anymore, so just give me your husband instead. Your husband is an employee at that foreign firm, right? So he must make a lot of money. Give me your husband. You see, unfortunately, I was right when I said Nello's brother's wife would find out and she would make me pay an alimony. I need the money to pay for it, so just give me your husband. He can pay for it instead of me, and he can provide for me and the baby after that. Why won't you answer me, Iris?
Hey, Iris, are you alright?
What? Well, I guess I'm fine physically. Why? Is something the matter?
Apparently there was an incident at the Rome headquarters where a crazy pregnant woman barged into the office screaming our names and telling us to come out. I was worried she might have done something to you, so I contacted you to make sure you were okay.
What? A crazy pregnant woman? I think that's Mara.
Apparently she was screaming something about how she wanted you to divorce me and how I needed to marry her instead. She was taken care of by the police, so it's fine now though.
Yep, that's Mara.
Yeah, it was her.
I see. She did give me these crazy texts telling me to divorce you and give you to her instead, actually.
What? She told you about this?
Well, she didn't say she would be barging into your company headquarters. But apparently Mello's wife, meaning Nello's brother's wife, found out about her husband's relationship with Mara. And now Mara has to pay her an alimony. She said something about how you must make a lot of money since you're an employee at a foreign firm. So she would marry you and make you pay for the alimony, and also provide for her and the baby, I guess. It was so crazy, I thought it was best not to reply.
Oh, my back just went cold for a second. Jesus, she may actually be clinically insane. She was always a bit hard to understand, but it seems like she's finally lost it.
That's what I thought when I saw those texts as well. She really thought I would help her when she told me that she stole my husband. Honestly, that woman thinks the world revolves around her or something.
Yup, it's why I broke up with her after only a month. I'm currently in Italy, but thankfully I was made to work somewhere far from Rome for a while.
Yeah, that was lucky. Who knows what she might have done to you if you were at the company headquarters.
Well, nothing happened to us, so I guess there's nothing to worry about now.
Thank you for worrying about me. Thankfully, she didn't know where we lived, or who knows what she might have done. She would probably have gone directly here instead of your company headquarters.
Yeah, it makes me scared thinking about it, but I'll be home soon.
Yep. Take care on your way home. I think a brief overview of me and Mara's life leading up to this incident is needed. Mara and I went to the same university, K University, and we met at the school's volunteer club. The two of us were never that close, as I already mentioned. So at first I found it strange why she seemed to be so interested in my marriage with Nico. I had heard from Nico that he had dated Mara for just a month, but that wasn't enough of an explanation. But when I found out that Mara apparently thought that Nello was my husband, everything made sense. You see, Mara will tell you that the two of them broke up because they both found other people they wanted to date. But the truth is, it was more like Nello dumping Mara because he wanted to go out with me instead. I kind of feel bad for Nello since me and Nico had just started going out, and he had no way of knowing that I already had a boyfriend. Mara, on the other hand, took this breakup poorly, and from then on she started purposefully treating me like shit. When until then we had more or less gotten along. A year later, we all graduated university and went our different paths, and me and Nico got married 3 years after that. During this time, Mara was unable to find a husband, let alone a boyfriend. So on the day she found out that I got married, she must have been more jealous. I only heard about what happened to Mara after that from other people. But apparently Mello, Nello's twin brother, was married to the daughter of the CEO of a large company. It seems that this was the biggest factor that decided Mara's fate. First off, the baby Mara gave birth to was taken from her by Mello's wife and was given up for adoption. It seems Mara herself didn't want the baby, so there were no complications regarding this. Based on your perspective, it could have looked like Mara was being thrown a life-saving boat. But in truth, this was the start of a frightening future. Mello's wife was furious and used all the resources at her disposal as the CEO's daughter to get her revenge on the two. It seems that she sent both Mara and Mello to a company overseas so that they could pay for the massive alimony that she was asking them to pay. Honestly, this doesn't make any sense, since both Mara and Mello had jobs that certainly paid more than a job at an overseas company. But I guess that's the power of a CEO's daughter for you. She surely threatened them or something. Also, Mara's parents cut ties with her also after they found out that she had laid her hands on a married man. Mara, with no connections, left her hometown in Italy, was taken to the airport one day by a black van. Where she is and what she's doing right now, nobody knows.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Sam, would you please stop asking my husband to withdraw such a large amount of money?
Good evening, Kumi. I'm sorry. What are you talking about? Large amount of money?
It's really no use pretending you don't know. I already know what you've been up to these days. You and your mother are taking way too much advantage of my husband. Well, I guess that my husband felt obligated to comply to your request as well, so I guess it can't be helped this time. But from now on, please refrain from doing that ever again.
Well, I still have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't think it's something that I have to explain to you, word for word. Just put a hand on your heart and take your time to think over what you've done. Think very carefully about living your life by sucking money out of my husband. Consider the shameful way of living in that way. Excuse me then.
Josh, I just arrived. Oh, hi, brother. I'm glad you and Mom got back into the country safely. You're coming back the day after, right? That's right. The medical conference in Germany will finish tomorrow, so I'll head home when that's over. But to think that you let us accompany you for your medical conference so that we could enjoy sightseeing. When I first heard about it, I was so surprised. We had promised to take a trip together, but I didn't imagine us making an overseas travel. I wasn't able to fulfill our promise since I've been busy, so I thought this would be a good opportunity to do that. I couldn't spend as much as I would have liked, though, with you and Mom since I had to work. But there was a travel guide who spoke Japanese, right? Did things work out okay? Oh, that was so helpful. Both Mom and I couldn't speak German at all. Although it was the first time going overseas, I didn't feel so anxious and really enjoyed the time there. Thanks to you. I'm glad to hear that. Oh, I just remembered. When you are back in the country, could we get together? Yeah, of course. Is something up? There's something I want to talk about. About Kumi. About Kumi? Oh, is it something you mentioned earlier? Yeah, recently things have been getting worse. It also seems like she's been troubling you as well. Also, the matter I had asked someone to look into, that's been confirmed as well. I see. I'm sorry to trouble you when you must be tired from the trip. No worries. Then I should get prepared for the conferences tomorrow, so I'll message you again later. All right. Thanks so much for the trip.
Sam, aren't you and your mother really not embarrassed at all to be leading parasitic lives on your younger brother's money? Why don't you at least use your own money for the trip to Germany?
What? Oh, it's been a long time, Kumi. What do you mean by leading parasitical lives?
Do I have to explain everything to you? I know that Josh is a doctor and has a pretty good sum of money, but aren't you ashamed that you're using your brother's money to go overseas? Especially now that your brother has his own family? Don't you have any pride as his older brother? Or so he says.
Is that what you were referring to the other day?
Did you realize that just now? I am so shocked.
Well, as we had no intention of asking for his money.
But my husband paid for everything this time, didn't he?
That is true, but that was a promise we had made between Josh and I since a long time ago.
Oh my God, that is just unbelievable. You're telling me that you planned to get money out of him even before your brother was a doctor? I know that he already showed much promise for his career, but isn't that a bit too much?
No, that's not quite right.
Then what is it?
It's a little difficult for me to explain. When our father passed away, I was a senior in high school, and Josh was still in junior high. Because of our circumstances, I didn't go to college and started working right away after I graduated from high school. At that point, Josh already had a dream of becoming a doctor, so my mother and I decided that we would support him as much as we could.
Oh, so what you're saying is, because you supported him back then, you want him to help you out now that he's become a doctor. Basically, you want him to pay you back now. That's the promise you made, right?
No, that isn't how it is. I usually make sure that Josh doesn't spend his money for us. As for the trip to Germany the other day, it is true that Josh paid for our trip, but this is something that Josh had been saying he wanted to when he was able to graduate from medical school, and he did graduate. So that's how the trip finally happened. So this time, it was something special for all of us.
Well, however you frame it, it still doesn't change the fact that you let Josh pay for all your travel expenses. And also when you rebuild your house into an apartment.
What? That has nothing to do with Josh.
Really, these are the instances when one can see how stingy poor people can be. Please refrain from coercing Josh to give you money from now on. Never, ever again. Actually, never contact him again.
What? That is a bit too much.
Josh is my husband. I am the only one who can spend his money freely because I am his wife. If something like this ever happens again, I will not forgive you.
Kumi, I am getting a divorce.
What?
I'm getting a divorce from you.
Josh, what are you saying? Is this something to say over a message? What is going on here? I have no idea why you're saying such a thing.
And will you still not understand if I tell you that I am with my brother now?
What? With Sam? You told me it was your day off and you turned down my suggestion that we go out together.
That was so that I could see my brother.
Can it be that your brother is asking for your money again?
What?
This is enough. I warned him never to take money from you ever again. To think that he would have the nerve to meet up with you to ask for more money? Josh, don't you think you've had enough with a brother who is so poor and miserable?
What are you talking about?
There is also that matter regarding the trip you took with your brother and your mother to Germany. Also, a few months ago, they rebuilt their house into an apartment building, remember? Then they moved into one of the rooms in their apartment building and your brother became the owner and your mother is living with him, right?
Oh, that's right. What about it, though?
What do you mean, what about it, though? Your brother ordered you to pay for that money to rebuild that house into an apartment building, didn't he?
What?
Listen, I would understand if you became the owner of that apartment building since you gave out the money for it and you let your brother and your mother live there. That would be fine. But the owner of that building is your brother. That means that the income from the apartment rent goes straight into your brother's pocket. That is absolutely nuts.
Kumi, what are you talking about? The money spent on rebuilding that house into an apartment building was paid out by my brother.
What?
I gave them just $500 as a gift. How on earth did you arrive at such a misunderstanding?
What? Well, since your father died, your mother only worked part-time and is now living on her pension. As for your brother, he quit his company a few years ago and he's living off your mother's pension, right? How could those two possibly pay for rebuilding a house? The only relative who could provide them the money would be you, since you earn enough money as a doctor.
My brother is making as much money as I am now. While he was working at his company, he had a side job. Now that he can earn a good-sized income from that side job, he decided to quit his company and concentrate on his side job, which means that he can work from home. You also have someone you know who works from home, right? Even though you knew someone who works from home, you automatically assumed that since my brother is spending most of his time at home, that he doesn't have a job. What you say is unacceptable. How absolutely thoughtless of you.
But your brother only graduated from high school, right? And the company he worked for was a very small-sized firm, no? How can someone like that manage to earn enough money as someone who works from home?
If there is something you're really good at doing and you can make it into a business, it's possible, depending on how hard you work for it. It would depend on the type of job, of course. Maybe one needs to get a license or a special training. As for my brother, he worked hard for it and made it work.
Then why didn't you tell me all of this before? You didn't tell me anything about the apartment building. You can't blame me for misunderstanding.
Listen, as for the plan to rebuild our house into an apartment building, that started way before we even started dating. As for the kind of work my brother is doing, I did mention it to you before.
What?
As for the trip to Germany the other day, I wanted to pay my brother and mother back for all the support they gave me when I was pursuing my dream of becoming a doctor. It's something that I offered them.
Well, support. Still, just because they helped you out a little bit over living expenses, paying for all the expenses for an overseas trip is too much.
My brother paid for 2/3 of my high school and medical school tuition.
What?
And 1/3 was from the insurance my father had for our education fee. But then my father died suddenly. My brother supported my mother, who was completely distraught. On top of that, he looked after me since I was a junior high school student at the time. And my brother was only 18 years old at the time. Just imagine what pressure he had at that time. To be honest, I don't think that taking him and mom for an overseas trip is not enough at all.
What? Are you still planning to give them money?
That is why I'm getting a divorce from you.
What?
You don't like it that I want to pay back my brother and my mother, right? But this is not so much that we have to lower our way of living.
What? But the trip to Germany? It's an overseas trip, so it's not just a matter of 500 or 1,000, right?
For that, I used the money that I had been saving up when I was still single. This is not something I should be blamed for at all.
But...
What is it with you, Kumi?
What? Me?
Do you think that I didn't notice anything?
What are you talking about?
The credit card that I gave you so that you can spend for our living expenses. You've used it to its maximum. Do you think I will continue to allow you to misuse the credit card like that?
But you told me you would let me be in charge of the household expenses.
I did tell you that I would ask you to handle our household expenses, but that did not mean that you could use the money freely. Let me tell you more. You think that I would tolerate you using the amount equal to my monthly income on your lover? Think again.
What?
Did you really think that I wouldn't notice anything? I can also see the credit card purchase history, you know. Things looked fishy, so I looked into it.
You were looking at the bill?
That is the so-called family credit card, so it's natural that I can also see the bill. To begin with, that money is withdrawn from my bank account, so if I didn't notice anything, that would be really funny, wouldn't it?
Oh, God.
Anyway, I hired a detective to find out if you really had a lover. I now have proof of it, so you can't deny it. I also can't forgive you for all the insults you said regarding my brother and mom. I'm divorcing you.
Wait,
What for?
what?
If you were telling me to wait on the divorce, I can't oblige.
Maybe we can talk over this.
As for that, we can do that through my lawyer.
A lawyer?
The contract for the apartment we are living in now is scheduled to be renewed in 2 months, so I decided not to renew it this time.
What?
I still have some things left in the apartment, so I will go back once. After I pack everything, I will be gone for good. I want you to get yourself out of the apartment as soon as possible.
What? Wait.
What do you mean, wait?
What? Well, that is...
If it has no meaning, it's just annoying.
Josh,
Please talk to my lawyer. Goodbye. A few hours after we exchanged messages, I headed over to my younger brother's place to move his things out. My brother's wife, Kumi, was not there. Well, it was good timing. I managed to get all of my brother's things out in that short amount of time. As for Kumi, it seems like she ran to her lover's place for help, and my brother has confirmed that fact. Her things had been sent, cash on delivery, and the lawyer also paid her a visit. A month later, everything was settled and the divorce was finalized. As for Kumi and her lover, they had to pay for the consolation money plus all the money they had spent together. It was a one-time payment. The amount came to $70,000. They had to take out a loan, but they couldn't ask for help from the relatives, so they got themselves into a fix. Now, they are living days of regret and hard work.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.